Ben from Catch Pro. Joining me is my co-host, TVL, and we got a guest.
Yeah, boys. Oh, double
Here's
fish.
Austin. We got James Austin from, where are you? Lake Macquarie.
Lake Macquarie, yeah.
Just
I love Lawns. I love Lawns, yeah. Just on the west side of Lake Macquarie. Just not far from Newcastle, about 40 minutes out of Newey. So.
And
nice.
what brings you to Brisbane land?
Brings me to Brisbane, come up to see a mate, and had to come and see you to get some Catch Pro gear. So get
Sounds
myself
good,
a Defender rack and that. So
why not just get you on the hot seat and on the Skull Sessions?
that's it. Yeah.
Here. So, all right. Well, before we get into that, we just want to remind everyone about the Sony game giveaway.
Yeah, the lawn simulator.
We've cooked it. We're supposed to actually have them in front of the camera right now.
Yeah,
we were talking about it, and I don't have them with me. But to get in the draw, you do have to leave us a review.
Go to Skag Down Under on Facebook, the Facebook group. Go and do your thing there. Make sure you like and follow and are a part of the group, and yeah, you'll be in the running. So,
now we do have a couple of people that have entered and they're in the running. So we have a review here from Mick, and it's I'm a Spotify listener and wish I could put a review there. I'm always looking forward to the next episode. I'm fairly new to the industry and find this a solid source of information. Wouldn't mind an episode on how you guys approached your villages or just any sort of commercial works. Keep up the good work. You have a cult following soon if you don't already. So we did do a village life episode, and I know one of our fans, Drew, who's been watching, like he must have come late to it and he's just watching everything.
Yeah.
He said the same thing. He said that on our village life episode, he was hoping that we would have shared a little bit of knowledge.
Mate,
but
part two.
Can do.
Part two coming out.
We do have so thank you for that review. We have another review from Matt saying, love the podcast, fairly new to the industry and I've learned a lot. Thank you for that. And then we have another one here and it says, I want a fucking game.
Don't we all?
Seriously, one of the best Australian lawn business podcasts I've listened to. Thank you very much.
I love it because there's two of us out there, so we're 50-50.
Yeah. Apart from all that, before we get into your interview, well, actually, first you just spent today driving up here, right?
Yeah, just spent today driving up here. Left at 4 o'clock this morning and stopped in at the Goldie, saw my mate, and then come here to grab some gear. So
yeah.
And fun little fact, you're only actually located like 10 minutes from Gary Ashton from Aussie Lawn Stars.
Yeah, about 10 minutes from Gary. I've spoken to Gary a couple of times. He's a great bloke.
Have you been in the dungeon yet?
No, I haven't been in the dungeon yet. Kind of scares me a little bit.
No, you still have life in your eyes there.
Yeah, that's it.
It would have sucked it out of you.
Gary's been a good bloke. He's been real supportive, real, just all good all-round bloke.
That's good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, giving me plenty of advice on the area and stuff like that and what I can do to promote myself and grow my business.
Very good.
And that's what it's all about. And that's what, most of today's episode is going to be centered around is, the community and, things that, people can do to get ahead in this industry. Before we get there, BJ, how's your week been, mate?
Mate, I've had a fantastic week.
That's fucking excellent to hear.
So last week I may have slipped up and hinted at something that I was getting, but Friday it happened. My fucking 61-inch, 40 horsepower Turf Tiger arrived, and I have been hard ever since. You can't tell because I'm pretty fat and it's quite hidden. So fuck man, it is a beast. I'm so excited. It was raining when it arrived, so I was a bit heartbroken then. But I've taken it out for a few spins, but due to people being away, obviously I didn't get to take it out and do some big works, or you would have seen shit all over Facebook and Instagram. But next week, 40 acre week.
And that's going to be, it's going to be amazing.
I can't wait to see the time difference. I'm going to do it by myself so I know comparison. But fuck, it purrs. First thing I did was look for the choke when I went to start it the first time, and I'm like, oh, it's fuel injected.
Well, do you want to just quickly run over some of the other specs? I know that our very last episode, I think, was that the mower that we chose, or we kind of double dipped a little bit? It's got the 40 big block, right?
40 big block EFI from Briggs and Stratton. It's a Vanguard. So
It's just catch me up. Does it have those whack as fuck tiger stripes on it?
Fuck you. Fuck you. You're fucking whack.
Yeah, for anyone who's watching on YouTube, is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It looks fucking sick.
I'm only messing with you.
I know. But no, it's super comfortable. Everything is quite similar to the Tiger Cat in regards to like where the service points and shit are. But one of the coolest things I did not know about it is there's actually the hydros are air cooled. So there's actually a like a cooling section where the hydro oil feeds through, and it cools as you're going along. So that's
nice.
Hopefully that's a longevity thing as well as a performance thing.
And it is like a completely different step up, isn't it? Like that's their sort of top tier gangster mode.
Yeah, it's like full gangster. Like everything is just heavy duty on it, from the obvious bits and pieces to like even. Like your normally with your lap bars, like you have these screw things. They're these two fucking solid chunks of steel. And they just everything feels good. You know when you hop into a brand new car.
Yep.
Just everything.
I've done it once.
Good. Yeah. Like hopping in a brand new truck.
Yeah.
But it's epic. I did a couple of walk arounds, but every time I walked around, I found something new. The fuel tank is actually sat under the seat, so there's nothing on the wings. I think we talked a little bit about that, and
that's what makes it look unique compared to other Skags. Usually they would have. Here we go. Usually they've got fuel tanks or fenders. On the side.
Yeah.
That's the blacked out one.
Better than stripes.
Fuck this.
BJ loves the stripes.
I do. I like the stripes.
The Skag whip.
Yeah. And you can pull the
stripes off.
No, you can't. They stay on there forever and ever. I'm going to come back with fucking stripes tattooed on me somewhere, just as a fuck you. No, but you can pop the back off, and all the PTO and some of the other bits and pieces are all up the back end. So I think that's it's been pulled back because of the fuel tank, but. Yeah, I just can't wait to use it. It just rumbles, man. I
was going to bring up the boys from Bush Ranger and say, look, fucking hot tip. If you guys want the maddest mower ever, just bung a couple of tiger stripes on there, and BJ will become the new ambassador.
it's the wrong colour.
No, in all seriousness, I only mess with BJ.
I'll bring it over. And we can both jizz on it.
Now, in other news. We did get a complaint, BJ, about some of our content. No, look, the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because I just want to emphasise to anyone else out there, like, if it's gotten too much, if it's too loose, whatevs, let us know. Like, we do want to keep hearing the feedback. We are trying to bring credible content and credible episodes. Sometimes the reach... 2 episodes is pretty tough.
Yeah.
But we are getting back in the swing of things. We had an incredible episode.
I think it was a
last
really
week.
Episode.
And we've got an interview today, and we've got the piggyback next week, the stand on, which is going to be great content. It's unfortunate we got some research to do.
Yeah.
You got to do something.
Hey, what are we going to do when I'm away?
Have a break, probably.
Have a break?
Yeah.
You don't want to do a Zoomie with me?
I reckon you should do a Zoomie.
Well, I
Zoomie
can,
from GIE.
Yeah.
I can, but I can just tell, like, it's going to be me that's going to have to be up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, because I ain't doing that. I'm going to be fucking hungover every day, I can just tell. Nah, it's going to be good. I will post up on LMCA. There's a few things I want to do because it's kind of, I want it to be like an interactive holiday. So I definitely want to get some feedback from anyone listening to the podcast, anyone on LMCA or Aussie contractors that want me to look at anything specific. I'm more than happy to fucking check out as much as I can while I'm there. So we're going to do it for 2 days and then head to Chicago and hit the Skag Factory. But the Skag Factory, I'm not allowed to film inside. So
well, you might be able to film some stuff, just not like the tooling and any secretive stuff.
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to film. I've watched a YouTube video.
Wait, those motherfuckers have guns over there too.
Dude, I'm more worried about getting shot than getting COVID.
Yeah. I would hate to get COVID overseas, by the way. Have you had COVID, pal?
Yeah, the COVID, yeah.
How'd you go?
Knocked me for 6.
Because I was alright, but I got really bad migraines, and there's no way, like, I could just imagine if I was somewhere it would just be awful. Like I was literally out for like 48 hours.
Yeah.
I wasn't sick. I just, still punching lung busters and stuff.
I think we all were.
I mean, I'm not. That's.
Am I the only
stupid thing to
non-smoker
say.
here?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
wonder
man.
my pockets are stacked.
It's funny. You said you had a great week. I had a great week too because I got like a little gift that I ordered.
Oh my god!
But
What'd you
then,
get?
so now that you have just like come out and it's been like, yeah, I got a 61-inch Skag. My little gift just seemed.
No, what'd you get?
I got this mad watch band custom
Oh, I
made.
saw that.
Got some Scullies.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sick.
And look, it came from somewhere in Asia, but it is. It was made to order, but like when you're like I never knew if it was gonna come.
Yeah.
Like it
How much did you risk?
It was only like $200.
I think like $200. That's a big risk.
He's a baller.
No, but like, yeah, in the scheme of things, it's not,
Yeah.
But it was like.
I mean, as long as it's good, is it good quality? Like,
Well,
I
I got to be honest.
Just plastic coated, yeah.
I don't know. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it looks plastic.
But still, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If it lasts, it's good.
Anyway, yeah, like when I was buying it, he's like, "Oh, do you want to just send over Apple Pay or something?" And I'm just like, "Oh man, I don't know about this." But anyway,
So
it did come.
sketch.
So,
That's
all right.
good. Repping.
Now let's get into James Austin's story. Now, James, you're a newbie to the industry.
Yeah, greenhorn, yeah.
How long have you been in the industry, whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever the case?
In the industry, I jumped in about 2 months ago.
Sorry, how long, pal?
2 months.
Beauty.
Yeah,
So you're fresh out.
Fresh as, yeah. So, been looking at it for the past 12 months.
Okay, cool. So that's what, yeah.
Been spending a lot of that 12 months doing my research, listening to you boys, jumping on the LMCA websites and that, and getting as much information as I could, just so I can then, when I came to pull the trigger on it, it was okay. I know this. This is where I need to go. This is what I need to look at, insurance wise, equipment wise. And then like stuff like route density, building the brand, building the business, and then just, yeah.
And what were you doing before, like in your work life, pal?
Before, mate, most of my life I've been DJing and then been driving trucks as well, so it's a complete 180
big
from...
Nice. Can you do a
Big
beatbox for us?
I can't do it, but
I can. Fucking bullshit. You're a DJ for most of it. Is like
Yeah.
playing in clubs or
yeah, just playing
doing
clubs
gigs
mainly,
or-
yeah, just doing club gigs and things like that, through Sydney, Newcastle area and that, so...
So really, this is like a big change for you.
Big change. So it was all about, that time, I've got to the time in my life where I want to, change things up a lot, get myself, physically fit, mentally fit and financially fit. So it's all about the change in life, go to a different stage in my life and go more positive and, move forward.
I mean, BJ, he did that. You
Yeah.
did a complete, 180 on what you were doing.
I didn't have the bonus of having LMCA podcast, fucking the interwebs.
Yeah. Well, it's been a blessing. It's been an absolute
I can
blessing.
only imagine like the new school guys that are rolling into the industry now, they've just got a wealth of knowledge that they can just pick and choose what they want to take in. And
It makes a huge difference. Like listening to like the podcasts like yourselves and Gary and that, learning about, equipment wise, what's good, what's bad, what you should look at, what you should not look at, how much, you should be spending, doing, how much time you should be spending doing your books, how much, how long before you should jump into like a zero turn.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
And how did you first come across the Skull Sessions?
I was basically looking at trailer setup ideas, like just Googling trailer setup ideas, and the Catch Pro, you were doing a video of yours and Rusty's and that trailer.
Oh, that might have been at the Village, actually.
It was at the Village.
And we had all the gear there.
Yeah, DJ's trailer as well.
Yeah.
And you were going around them all, and then I just started watching all the videos you guys had, and then it was like, shit, these guys are fucking mad. Like,
Yeah.
And it just got to a stage where it's like a YouTube addiction. You just keep watching it. It's like, oh, Skull Sessions is back. Fuck, yeah, it's another one, And then, back driving trucks, I was, You boys would put a new one out, you know, when you're doing the 2 episodes a week, and I'd sit there in the truck, get, you know, come up, notification on Spotify, bang, crank it up in the truck all day, and then go back and listen to the other ones and just keep, you know, refreshing.
Yeah. And do you ever listen to any American content, like podcasts?
I listen to a bit, like I watch a few bits and pieces on YouTube. There's, I think it's Blades of Glory and that.
Yeah.
There's another guy I watched do concreting, Victory Outdoor Services.
Yep.
He used to do what they call landscaping, which is, you know, mowing contractors. But he is predominantly now concrete work.
Okay.
But he did do a bit of mowing and that as well, because I've worked in the concrete industry as well. So, you know, it's good. So it's had that bit of both for me. And yeah, but predominantly when it comes to Australian, it's, you know, Skull Sessions, Gary Ashton as well. And, you know, it's just...
And obviously through those platforms you learnt about LMCA.
Learned about LMCA and...
Shout out to LMCA.
LMCA's been massive support. Like, the guys on there are just awesome. Like, I posted up yesterday, you know, I just got my first SP, the Bushy.
And that thread blew up.
Yeah, it was awesome. And the comments from all the boys on there and girls, it's just like, you know, congratulations, great machine. A couple of guys are like, good luck with that. But it's, you know what, everyone's going to have their preference. You know, like some people like stripes on their machines and some people just like to be normal.
That was a perfect time to chime in with that.
I got myself a fucking another Bushy as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you said that you got your first bush ranger.
Yeah.
And you know, I was keeping an eye on that thread, and it was funny because the thread was blowing up, and you know, funny enough, you know, where I was at the time and everything. Yeah. We actually have a little something for you, mate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, slide the box over. Now, it could be a little bit tricky to do on air. I'll get you to slide back if you don't mind, Austin. Slide back. Now, we'll hopefully we can stay close to the mic. So this is from our mate over at Bush Ranger.
Beautiful.
You want to pull that out? Not your penis. Hey!
Oh, yes.
Bush Ranger Esky.
Bush Ranger Esky, that's going to be perfect for summer.
Need
X
two
to the
hands
Z.
for the Esky and 2 hands for the penis.
Now, we also got you a bag. Now, if you want to feel the weight of that bag, we got some shit in there.
Oh, shit.
You don't have to pull it all out now, that's alright, but I did just want to say thank you directly to the guys over at Bush Ranger. You had called me during the week before we came to have an interview, and you said that you were bummed that you that you didn't win the LMCA comp.
Yeah.
Well,
Mate, bushy hats, coolers, mate, the whole works.
yeah, some shirts.
Some shirts, mate, beautiful.
I think you got a bottle.
Got a bottle.
All the good stuff
Got all
now.
the goodies, mate.
It's not over.
It's not over.
It's not over, mate, because Benny told me that he was getting you a pack. I thought, fuck, we can't be outdone here. So, starting with the old Skag hat.
Stagnation.
We got stickers, stubby coolers.
Beautiful.
Wait, this one will keep your fucking Barry Beak nice and
Oh,
I can check that out.
Yeah, check that out.
Perfect.
And a professional pen.
And a professional pen. I need a professional pen.
Mate, that's a fucking good pen.
So,
That is bloody awesome. I appreciate that. Boy.
so
Thank
I'd
you very much.
also love to thank our mates over at Skag for, you know, just,
That's all fresh off the boat too.
you know, help
Uncle Rob sent that to me.
letting
Thanks,
us.
Uncle Rob.
Thank you, Bob Shearer. Thank you, Paul Sheehan. And enjoy.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, I will. Really appreciate that. Like,
It's a fucking good esky.
mate, that's a great esky. It's going to keep me...
I don't even have the Esky.
No.
No, so
feel special.
I don't think they make a lot of margin off them. I think they actually cost them a fair bit to get.
Do they? Yeah, they would. They're
I'm pretty.
esky.
I'm pretty sure what they
You
cost.
think they'd have a tucker box? That's a
Yeah.
fucking.
Um,
That's a 2 slab.
Yeah, so I had to fucking go and get a Catch Pro box because I couldn't fit the other bag in with it. But I'm pretty sure those Eskies actually cost them $160.
Really? How about we just talk about this for a second? McDonald's and their fucking paper straws. I feel like I'm sucking a dick trying to get this fucking juice out of the bottom.
What dick y'all be looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so
Sorry about that. Sidebar.
now that we got all the gifts out of the way,
Yeah.
so can you just run us over? You obviously you're fresh in the business, and you went out and bought some gear. What items did you go and get, and what brands did you focus on?
So, the first bit of gear I got, I went and ordered the Bushy multi-tool.
Yeah.
It's the 2701,
Yeah.
which is the residential multi.
Yeah.
So
Doing what you got to do to get through in the beginning.
That's it. So it's that, that starting point, don't spend an absolute butt ton, but get something that's going to be of quality. Listening to you boys talk about, especially yourself with the bushy gear, and just saying how tough it is, and yourself, BJ, you said with that pole saw, it just absolutely, kicks ass.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, sweet. So that's the first point of call. Went, ordered that. That thing's been an absolute weapon. All I've done is just thrown one of the GA speed feed heads on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. It's just goes and goes and goes. Never a drama with it. I was originally, before I knew about Bushy and I knew about the LMCA and you boys, I was looking predominantly at Still for their combi systems.
I mean, look, it's still a good option. I did see earlier in the week Greg Anderson from Aussie, the Aussie contractors page. Are you on that page as well?
On the Aussie contractors.
Yeah, he did have. Well, it's funny. Look, a little bit of a sidebar, but it's relative. Did you see the thread?
Nah.
So he went in. He'd had some issues with water in his tank, in his Still FS, whatever it is, 94, I think. Got it all fixed. Something happened, went back in, all the rings are fried. And then they've come back and they've said, what oil are you using? And he's not using Still oil. They questioned the fuel, saying that he should be running like 98, which for the most part I thought was a no-no.
That's what I've been told. The combustion is too high.
So
Everything's right on 98 for everything.
Do you?
Yeah.
okay, so
Even my Tiger, the Turfy is only going on 91.
and all of the comments were, I guess there was a little bit of here and there, but I mean, I sort of chimed in, and that's why we moved away from Still, is because the way that they train their mechanics is to constantly upsell, and it's like, okay, you need this oil and you need this additive and you need this and you need that, and it just got to the point where, like, if you took a machine in that was labouring or whatever it is, we got to send this away for a fuel test, and it just got to the point where I was like, man, look, I don't mind the brand, but I can't fucking stand these dealers, and it's not all of them, you know, I want to sort of put it out there, it's not all Still dealers, but Still is a great brand. Like, you're running the battery stuff at the village.
And
it's been good,
It's been fine,
Like, we had some issues with the leash.
But now I've got the cartridge, the rear cartridge. It's been fine.
And that's also a sign of sort of like evolution in the brand. You know, they like sort of was like, okay, let's bring out this fucking bum bag with a fucking. It was fucked. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. It looks absolutely stupid.
It's fucked. But then now
I had to fucking throw it on the floor to test out how powerful it was. The first time, Ben's like, test this whipper stepper out. And I'm like,
no, remember we just needed to run. We needed to run an edge, and I don't wear a belt, so you were just doing a little friendship hold next to me,
holding the batteries like fucking eggs, and he's walking around.
Fuck that.
So ridiculous, man. It wasn't. That's a flawed design. I guess I guess it would be.
All they needed to do was to just put it in a little friendship backpack, so you could just put it on your back.
Like the Ego stuff.
Like the Egos. It would have been different because the batteries were... It would have been better.
Now, speaking of belts, I got my mate Will, my offsider. So the other day, he came to me and he goes, I fucking broke me belt. And I was like, bummer, dude. He goes, me fucking shoelace belt. I'm like, what? He goes, my shoelace belt. The fucking he had shoelaces as a belt.
Wow.
And I was like, nah, I'll buy you one. So I bought one from Bad. I bought it for him, but I'm going to see if it looks good on me. So.
Well, I've got a Bad belt.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it's one of the. It's like one of the retro style, like just
like the skater belts.
Skater belt. Yeah. So
I thought that's better than shoelaces.
Mate, anything's better than shoelaces.
Do you remember the?
I didn't even know.
Do you remember when we were? Do you remember when we were young, BJ? Do you remember? I don't know his name. Do you remember Do Rasta?
No.
He was like, he used to run with you guys, Do Rasta, and he was like homeless, and he.
Josh.
Well, I don't know his name, but
he smoked like a ton of bongs. Fuck, I've never seen.
And his belt used to be the Super Nintendo controller.
Yeah.
Dude. you just see him just like everyone's just got like, that was back in the day when everyone had like the wallet chains and shit.
Yeah,
and he's just
saw
got
it.
a controller hanging
You just
down.
needed to tell the kid, you don't drink the bong water, mate. Just, you know.
I don't know, boy. I've just never seen anyone who just was stoned all the time. Just every time I've seen. And then I saw him at the shops, and I was like, I'm like nearly 30 now. Like, this is what.
Oh, so he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay. I thought he might have been
I
around
think he's
the
got
corner.
missus and kids and stuff.
I thought he might have
think
been
he's
around the
alive.
corner in the Hammond
Still
Cemetery.
look high though. Yeah.
We know a few in there. All right, back to the episode. So, so you mentioned also that you were able to. You just got your Bush Ranger self-propelled. That's
Yep.
the Wanson model.
Yeah, it is.
Were you using anything before that? Or?
I've been using the old man's Massport.
That's okay. Yeah.
It's a 19-inch just push mower, and I'll tell you what, it's a bloody strong mower. Haven't had an issue. Great mower, cuts great, bag's great. It's just
Yeah, but was it more or less like you needed something that was your own, or you were just looking to purely get into that Bush Ranger?
I wanted to get into that Bush Ranger mower and get that SP because we do have quite large properties around the area.
Yeah.
So I'm not the fittest bloke on the earth.
Who
but-
is?
BJ?
Actually, you would be surprised what this guy can actually
I
do.
can imagine.
I've seen him do a backflip.
Back in the day, we used to remember when I used to go drinking and do like the splits in like dance battles.
That was the best.
That was the best. I ripped so many pairs of pants. I used to go home with my balls hanging out all the time. Oh wait, I shouldn't say things like that. We'll lose people again. We'll lose them again, Ben.
Well, we got to wait for the feedback first.
Yeah, it's true.
Then we'll adjust.
I'm sorry about talking about my balls.
really.
So, what are you doing in terms of like blowers and stuff like that, pal?
Blowers, I've actually been lucky enough. I've got a couple of mates in Sydney who are both contractors. One of them actually gave me his old BG85 steel blower.
You want to shout him out?
Yeah, so Brian from All Works Garden Care and Rubbish Removal, and then Sammy is the boy that he's from Uppercut Lawn Services. Uppercut, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so both those boys have been a massive help for me. But yeah, Sammy gave me the steel blower. I just had to get the snorkel attachment for it because didn't have it. Got that from the local guys. Cost me next to nothing. There you go. First blower sorted.
Yeah, nice. Now, in terms of a work rig,
Yep.
what are you working out of?
Just got myself a Hilux space cab.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So, I had a Commodore Ute, no good for mowing, slammed on its guts, and
Yeah.
So with the Ute, do you have a trailer or?
No trailer at the moment, just Ute alloy tray setup.
And do you think you'll transition into a trailer, or do you think that because not every market requires one?
Depends on which way my market does end up going, whether I do go into acreage, because the area I'm in, there is a fair bit of acreage. So depending on what type and size of zero turn I end up going, whether I go to a trailer setup or I go like BJ's gone and go, a small rig. So it just all depends on,
And so you're definitely already, I can tell by the way that you answered that question, like you are already looking into the future and saying like, this is, my goal is to have a zero turn and I'm going to get into that rural market. Is that correct in saying that?
Yes and no. So definitely looking at a zero turn, looking at something like a 32-inch V-ride, something around that size to get through those side gates. Luckily in our area, the gates are a bit wider because we do have those larger properties, but there is still quite a few with just a normal size gate.
When you said V-ride, I didn't think my boner could get any thicker. Yeah.
Well, it might be a V-ride, mate. It might be something else. Who knows?
Well, something that, I immediately thought of also was really the 30-inch mower.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to get to know your Bush Ranger and it's a great mower, but that Skag, like the SFC, it's
fucking weird.
Yeah. So the thing for me, Skag, my closest dealers are about 40-45 minutes away. I like having a local, I've always been small business, deal with your local guys, support them.
Sure.
So my local guy's really good, Premier Outdoor at Morisset, but they're not a Skag dealer. They do Toro. I think they do Ferris as well. Mm-hmm. They do John Deere. So it just depends on, whether they get Skag in or someone like that and become a dealer for them.
You know,
Yeah, you should-
John Deere.
You should start jotting down some of those details, Beach.
Well, I've actually told the boys at Morisset they should look at Skag because there's no one on the outside of the lake that services them.
Really?
And I said, mate, get that. You've got all up that part of the western side of the lake.
I'll just
Actually,
get the
what would be interesting? Because do you know how far away you're located from, say, Mow and Grow?
Mow and Grow.
Because he's down there somewhere.
He's
Gary.
Central Coastway. So I think he's roughly about half an hour or so away.
Would that be the half an hour in the direction toward the Skag?
Towards the Skag dealer.
Okay.
So there's one south, one north, and one on the other side of the lake. So
Because he's got like a 61, no, 52.
Yeah, no, 61.
61.
yeah. So there's a Skag at Tumby, which is about 45 minutes away.
And he's doing some fantastic. So for everyone who doesn't know, we're talking about Mow and Grow, Martin Safidi. Go and follow his Instagram.
Oh, his setup's the next level.
Yeah.
I love his marketing.
Yeah, me too. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's awesome. If anyone wants some awesome marketing, just copy it.
Yeah. No, I reached out to Martin because someone had copied it. Someone literally copied his logo and everything.
Oh no, I'm only messing, That's a dog.
Oh no, but so yeah, someone did do that. I reached out to me and he just fucking water for duck's back.
As if he would give a
As if he fucking has.
The only time I would care is if they got like an Instagram profile.
Yeah.
And were like, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but COVID like flipped a switch. Like obviously he had a fantastic business before, but it was like COVID flipped a switch, or maybe I just was seeing more of Mow and Grow on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. But fuck, they're just growing so quick.
It's probably
And
just
mowing.
the Skag hashtag that you just...
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Oh, I mean, I just can't believe the amount of rural work that they have.
Just acreage. And schools. So I actually, when I was thinking about schools, I actually messaged Martin and had a chat with him about like how's the best way to approach them. So I think he has I think it might be a private school.
Yeah, there's a few private schools around the area down there, so...
Yeah, so I don't know. That's
See, people think that me and him have heat because he's a green touch dude and I'm an equipment defender guy. But I talked to him, not personally, I haven't spoken to him personally before, but I just reached out and I was just like, "Oi, bro, you know, I'm stoked for you." And I mean, mowing is his main business.
yeah.
But you know, like, I'm not tripping. Like, if you know you're on LMCA and you want to recommend something, you're just doing what we got to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he's just straight up, just send me one of these and all good.
Yeah.
So you know, it's great. So
His taste in music is fucking on point.
he listens to a lot of the old school.
Yeah.
A lot of the old school, and like some of the R&B and a little bit of the Motown stuff too. Just sort of doubling back a little bit. Like, do you? How much customer base have you picked up, or are you sort of only just getting into that now?
Just getting into picking up that customer base. I've got a few that are, you know, semi-regular at the moment.
Tough time of year. I mean, it's getting.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you came, like, I reckon in 3 months,
Yeah.
it would be a completely different conversation.
Oh, 100%. And knowing just from listening to all the podcasts and gathering all that information that I have, knowing that I've given myself this couple of months to, you know, get my mindset on, you know, just the way to do things, get it done right, and, you know, and then learn how to build that customer base and, you know, use the social pages. Like BJ said plenty of times, you get the missus on, you know, the social media sites.
The mums group.
Yeah. So I've got my mate's missus, she's on the mums group, and, you know, she's messaging out and, you know, going here. So it's a good help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've picked up a couple from that, and like Gary's told me, we're in the same area. He goes, you watch in the next month, it's just going to take off. It's just going to be, you won't be able to keep up.
Now, are you predominantly cutting like Kayuku and Buffalo? Or
Buffalo, Kayuku, bit of Kush. A lot of it's mixed lawns. It's like just...
Because we don't have a lot of Kayuku up here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a... I reckon I've probably got about 30 square metres of it mixed into some buffalo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much always doing either blue or green cooch.
Yeah.
Some zoysias,
Or
a
buffalo.
few different types of buffaloes.
It
Yeah.
kind of makes me jealous because they look like long, lush lawns, like when they get overgrown.
Yeah.
Some of the overgrown guys, you know, when they do their fucking YouTube.
I will trade blue cooch for anything.
Really?
Queensland blue cooch can get fucked.
It's so thick.
Like, don't get me wrong, there'll be times of year where it's okay, right? But it's just, like, it doesn't matter what mower you got, it's going to bog. It doesn't matter if you're taking, like, this much off. It's just so dense. You know, the 40 acres, there'll be, like, there's 20 acres of it, man, where you could just cut wide open.
Yeah, right.
And then there's a couple of, like, say probably 4 or 5 acre paddocks where you're literally you're probably still going more than half stick.
Yeah.
But mate, like, it's just a nightmare.
On the end that I used to do on the big paddock, once you go past that big, there's like a massive gum tree. You'll be fucking cruising along, and all of a sudden you'll hit this thick patch of just blue cooch, and it'll just be like,
And
you just see it just fucking start just shooting out
and
the slide.
the paddock that we always used to make Rusty do.
Oh,
That's
fuck.
all blue out there, eh? And you get back and you're like, geez, Russ, we've done like 10 acres. How much have you done? And he's like, oh, you know, because he's, you know, sitting there half trot on this. So what are the sort of temperatures like down there? Like,
Is it chilly down there?
It's been chilly down there lately still. It's, you know, it's still been nice and cool, but it's over the past, you know, few days, it's just started warming right up, which has been good. So you can see that growth starting to come through. Like, I've got a job to do when I get back from up here, and it's about 4 foot high grass.
Oh,
so it's going to be
fun.
Do a fucking before and after of that.
definitely doing it before and after. Might even do a full time lapse on it yet. I don't know. So
that's one of those things, man. With those before and afters, because like I was only ever doing Facebook when I first started.
Yeah.
The before and afters were what got me across the line on a lot of things. Just photos from before.
Yeah. So
and
it's
after.
funny that you say that, because I love the before and afters, but there is a theory out there amongst contractors that posting before and afters is bad for business, because that's all you'll ever attract.
Oh, okay.
Is like, you know, grocery lawns.
yeah.
Now, I will say that has some credibility, but there are businesses out there that legit, like, they might only do, like, say, 2 of them a day, and they're worth a couple of $100 or whatever the case is. And the satisfaction that you must get from seeing, like, one of those brothel lawns, and, you know, you smashed it right back, and, you know, depending on what the customer wants, sometimes they just want to slash and dash. That's, you know, you don't get a lot of satisfaction out of that. But if you can clean it right up, you know what I mean? Like, there's a pretty good business model for that.
Did you end up seeing that video that I put up of the boys? I left them while I did the 40.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was
before and after.
Nuts.
It was
I don't think I've seen any.
Dude, I don't know what's going on with my Instagram. It's got, like, I go from having like 10,000 views to like fucking 200.
I don't think I've ever
I think
had.
Austin watched it about 4 times.
Oh, probably about 40.
I watched it about fucking 15 times.
I don't think I've ever had 10,000 views.
Oh,
that one with the hedger though, that was on repeat for about a day or 2.
Sexy Beach comes out in summer.
Ooh, get those legs out.
Yeah.
So, we just want to go back to, you know, picking up your work and things that you've learned, because we do want to emphasize, because you're so new in the industry, there's obviously lots of people that listen to us, whether they're part-timers, weekend warriors, or, you know, they're still on that edge, like, oh, you know, should I get into it or should I not?
I've got a mate that's doing that right now.
You know, and, you know, realistically, you're sort of, you know, you're just over that hump where you have committed. And I can tell, you know, when you've reached out to us, you have conversations with Gary Ashton, that's all a part of networking. And there's some really smart moves in business.
Well, I've been lucky enough. My old man was in business for 20 years for himself. And before that, he ran a multi-million-dollar company for a guy for another 20 years or something it was. So the old man is very switched on business-wise. And the other guys, besides yourselves and Gary, my mate Brian and Sam from the contractors, so from Allworks and from Uppercut, they've been really helpful in just giving me, you know, that this is what you've got to do. You've got to network. And when you network, that's when you gain knowledge. It's all about, you know, sharing the knowledge between us all. Because at the end of the day, my mate Brian, I've put him onto you guys into LMCA, and he said now, because I've put him onto you guys and that, that he's actually gained knowledge because of what I've told him.
Nice.
So
has he bought anything from Cash Pro yet?
he's about to. He's about to. He wants to get I think he wants a four trimmer rack to go on the side of his tipper.
Ah, nice.
So yeah, he's changing up his rig at the moment. He wants to get out of having the van and go back to having his tipper.
Yeah, nice.
Just, because he does a lot of garden cleanups and that as well for real estates and that. So
while we're here on camera, I'll admit to a boo-boo this week that you might be able to help me out with, Ben. I may have backed into a pole with one of my Darwin's grips. The OG Darwin's grip is fucking... That's gone from a right-hander to a fucking left-hand backwards hander.
You're a special one.
Well...
That's why I'm cutting all the poles out of my house. It was in my own house too.
Well, I don't have any Darwin's grips.
But
I'm taking whipper grippers before he is, alright,
So the bad thing about that is that we also don't have any whipper grippers. But I do have, so by the time this episode comes out, it'll still be another 4 or 5 days before I'm getting it. I just sent 50 out.
Whoa, really?
No, it's ridiculous.
Dude, those whipper grippers, that's why I wasn't super sad because it was the first Darwin's grip I ever got. So if I replace it with a whipper gripper, it's all fucking gravy, baby.
Yeah, I mean,
I like them in black.
Might still have a Darwin grip here.
Yeah.
I want the Bipper Dipper edition.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so we fully cooked that. Like we had them. No. So Turtle, our main man Turtle, he ordered one. He messaged me specially. He said, "Hey Ben, can I please be the first one to get the Bipper gripper sticker?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, man!" And I'm not the one who packs the whipper gripper orders. Vicky does it. So she's just like
throwing Vicky under the
she's
bus.
just potting. Well, I mean, it's what happened, you know.
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Hell yeah, got all these orders going out." Poor Turtle messages me, and he's like, "Oh, I just got me whipper grip," and I just knew straight away. I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry."
You need little notes down the bottom. Make sure it's the Bipper Dipper edition.
Actually, I do. I've got to say, because what's funny about it, I know I mentioned it before. Sometimes when we get orders, there is a notes section, and sometimes it's like, fucking, "Hell yeah, Benny, fucking skull sessions, rah. And but unless you order a Catch Pro, I really don't see it. It's all Vicky, and So, but
she
sometimes
came in and read them out to her?
No.
Fucking Greg said, "Oh fucking hell yeah, Benny, fuck that, yeah, skull sessions, yeah."
Only if there's like sometimes there's like a request, like, "Hey, can you bung a sticker in or do this and that?" So that's usually when I see it. But what are we talking about again?
I don't know.
I think we're all
It's all
This
good.
is just how we roll.
That's it.
Now, have you done any advertising on Facebook or anything like that?
Not much. I put a couple of posts up, but nothing much because I knew I was coming up here and I knew it's only just coming into the season.
Yeah.
Especially in our area in the next 2 weeks is when it's really going to kick off. So basically once I'm back, artwork will be going out there on all the...
Yeah, so you've got a Facebook page?
Got a Facebook page, got an Instagram page, so... Yeah, so got all that set up.
You can do a world of shit with those Facebook pages now that basically when I first started, all you could do was have a Facebook page and just Messenger was like normal Messenger where you talk to like your pals or whatever. Yeah. But now you can like set up reminders and all sorts of shit through that.
Oh, there's heaps of stuff you can do through it.
And then you get Business Suite and then you can set up reminders.
Yeah, but I've got Business Suite already.
Fucking onto it.
Yeah, no, done a lot of research over that 12 months. Like I said, it's been just... learn and, grab that knowledge from everywhere.
I'll give you a good heads up. I reckon it's a bit painful, it's old school, but it so badly works. But once you've got your business cards and everything all sorted, or flyers, whatever, now is such a great time to get around.
Letterbox drop.
That's
already in the plans as well.
And you might not get a call immediately, but seriously, what's going to happen? Like, I was saying on last week's episode, I've even been getting calls.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
We don't do any advertising. It's just that everyone has been so overwhelmed from last summer. There was such a backlog of work, and the winter it wasn't long enough for people to fully recuperate. I mean, do you feel like you fully caught up? Really?
No. I'm terrified about going on holiday, to be honest, because I think this season's going to kick off soon for us. Like,
Yeah.
we got some mad growth going already. But yeah, I don't feel rested at all.
So what I mean is by that is that people in your area that already have, let's say, their runs or whatever the case is, if those dudes are flat out now, you know, 4 to 6 weeks time, you know, if they can't make it somewhere, they're just going to start ditching.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be one of the, you know, if that happened to be one of the places where you left to fly or whatever the case is, you know, even if you don't get that call immediately, I was surprised at how long people hold on to the cards for.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at doing fridge magnets.
Yeah.
So, because at the end of the day, you know, we've got a bit of an older community around us as well, so a lot of the older people still get their bills in the mail, put their bill on the fridge with a fridge magnet. What do they do when they see the milk? When they pull the milk out, they see that fridge magnet.
Yeah.
If you really want to make a statement, what you do is you get your flyers, and then you get an envelope and you take a sturge in it, and you go and pick like the real nice properties, and you just light it up, and then just put one of your flyers in a little thing next to it, and they come out, and they're like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And then they're like, "Well, we'll get this guy to mow my lawn. I won't worry about the flaming shit anymore."
Yeah.
Well, what I thought I might do is I might find some really nice acreage properties that that I really want to do. I'm just going to go the Benny Hoover style and drop about 1,000 cards on their driveway and walk away.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm
52 pickup.
Like a magician.
Buckets in. I'm sure that they noticed me, but I've got to be honest, they never called me.
I
mean, how could they not notice me unless they ordered one of those like slaves to come and pick up? It was. I'm telling you that.
But wasn't that the one where you drop the oil on the driveway?
No. I walked away from that one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Fuck them. But this other place was like, it has to be like a mafia house or something.
Yeah.
It's on. Do you know the one?
I do this.
There's a couple of them, but
is it on Archer Road or something like that?
Nah, it's the one that comes.
Bro, there's a house that I want to get. It looks like a cross between like a Hollywood mansion cross fucking theme park. It's got like the name of the house on the front with neon lights. I'm like, fuck yeah, I know these people would be down my alley.
Oh man,
theme park mansion.
Yeah.
there's definitely some mad houses down there. Yeah, and that's where I did all my letterbox drops. And like, you know, even though I didn't get the gangster one, I always picked up something.
Yeah.
But
you can pay people to do that for you as well. If you've
no,
got,
fuck that. Don't be like
dude,
that.
but you can get 1,000 flyers out for say $150. That's well worth your time.
But you know, while I've got nothing coming through,
I used to love. I would pick and choose.
Yeah.
So like, I would love just hitting them and just being like, oh, okay, and you know, sometimes you look at them and you know, the owner could be physically mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna waste my flyer. You know.
Yeah.
How
good would it be doing it on like the 32 or something, or like a stand-up?
So Craig Burrows from Buzzabout Gardens, he does it on his Country Clipper.
Does he really?
Yeah, man, he hooks around them streets.
Well, I just thought because of the stand-up, like you can just step off and you know how sometimes the fucking letterbox.
So I've done it.
Oh, you did it on your stand-up?
And it was fantastic, but everyone looks at you very strange. And you have to watch out for like all the drain, like the spoon drain.
Oh, the culverts.
Dude, if you acid dropped off one of them in the wrong spot, you would be paying
like
the flesh.
RIP.
So you'd be like Rusty going through the valley down the 4-stair. You know those e-scooters? Yeah, he's just hooking through one night. He's just like, yeah, and then just minced. Like he had no idea. He like acid dropped the foot, landed it and everything, and then just crossed it up and just.
That's mad. What did you try and do? like an X up? Fucking X game?
Well, all I know is like I could just hear like noises like in the gut, like. And like went in there and I was like, the fuck are you doing? And he's like full just strapping up his elbows and trying to get his boots on and everything. And
remember the few, because we weren't really city guys back in the day. Like we used to party at my house all the time.
Yeah, just in the beaver den.
In the beaver den. We built this thing and we called it the beaver den because that's where it's like our little makeout house. Me and Ben. Nah. You had a girlfriend, didn't you?
No,
you didn't.
It was before Vic. But we used to have a still where we could make grog.
Yeah, nice.
I was like a fucking pirate. I used to be on the dole and make alcohol for a living.
Dreams do come true, and not all heroes wear capes, I'll tell you that.
So we used to make up, like, you could make anything. Like, we would just make, like, 12 litres of raw spirit.
I got it to 15 litres of 43% alcohol.
And then you just add flavouring. So, like, I mean, I was working, but were we still school late? We were out of school, right?
Yeah, I was on the dole.
But all the girls that we used to hang out, like, I think they were still at school, were they? Or maybe just out. But anyway,
just out.
On the weekends, you just see these, like, 17, 18-year-old chicks walking around with 40-ounce bottles in the door.
We used to just those big 2-litre Jim Beam bottles, or like
GI Lime,
or the 5-litre flagons, like the big glass fucking things. Yeah.
They were the bloody days.
Oh man, there was like knife fights at my house and fucking everything.
That chick got stomped.
Yeah, and there was a tumbleweed. I told Will about this.
Her hair was stuck on the curb.
Yeah, there was hair was stuck outside my house for like months. It was a wild little area, and across the road was like a stripper. Remember the stripper on the corner?
Yeah.
And that was still when I was at school. I was walking home, and she like was talking to her mate out the window, and then they were leaving, and she just like was like, "Oi!" and just fucking lifted her shirt. I'm like, holy fuck, this is the best day of my life. Nearly fucking tripped up the gutter. And then her friend, who was not as attractive as the lady in the window, lifted up her thing and her nipples nearly hit the fucking floor.
Yeah, but that didn't stop you, did it?
And I was just like, oh, this is still good, but not as good as before.
And then there was some Sheila who was like having a panic attack or something and thought she was ODing or something. And
she fucking drank so much Bundy rum that she was...
The ambos came and they're like, what did she take? And we're like, alcohol. And they're like, no, you got to be serious with us. What did she take? And we're like, none of us are doing any drugs.
Yeah.
It's just alcohol.
She's literally just blind.
It actually looked like the ambos were just going to be like, all right, let's go.
I was like, she spewed on my bed. Yeah.
So I don't know how we got here.
I don't know.
Nah.
But looking forward, I'm sure we were talking about picking up work or something.
Something like that. Oh, letterbox jobs.
Yeah.
So looking forward, in terms of a business plan and everything, pal, do you think you'll be able to, like, will you end up looking like at maybe sort of buying any customers, or are you going to try and build it organically, or are you able to do any other sort of part-time works while you're on your feet? Like, it is possible, you could do some DJ stuff.
Yeah, well, I've still got some DJ work coming through, so which is great because I still love doing it.
Yep.
So it's good to have it there on the weekends and that. I realistically would like to build the business as organically as possible. I feel when you do it organically, that's when you're really going to get your traction as a business.
Yeah.
I may buy a couple of customers here and there, just depending on what's going on at the time and things like that, but the focus has always been organically, do those letterbox drops. Like, if I haven't got a job on Monday, for example, get up, put my work gear on, take my flyers, walk the streets and dump those flyers. And even if I've got to do 8 hours of walking around the streets dumping flyers, it's a day's work.
Yeah, and I tell you, like, in all seriousness now, like, I just remember even through any of my tough times, even when I was super young, like 17, 18, all the way up, to say maybe age 24 or 25, like, if I remember there was days where I had 2 lawn mowing jobs on.
Yeah.
And I was still in my uniform every morning at 6 o'clock, and I would leave, like, I'd be done by 9:30.
Yeah.
But, like, I still just got up, just kept myself disciplined, and I was always hunting anyway for work. But it's such a great attitude to have, and it's good to see a newbie coming into the industry. I mean, look, obviously you're mature, and you're not fucking 18 years old, so there is a different mindset. But it's really refreshing for me to see someone who is taking the knowledge on board and applying it all the time.
Yeah, using the tools that are there.
Well, the tools are there to be used. At the end of the day, like I said, the knowledge that you can gain from people like yourselves, like I've reached out to both of you boys in regarding to equipment and things like that. Just when it came to the SP, for example, the other week, do I go the Lonson motor or do I go the Honda motor? And from everything I'd read, I was already thinking Lonson, and both of you boys came back to me with Lonson, and that was just like, pull the trigger, ordered. and that arrived yesterday.
Well, I got 3 of them now. So I got the 19 and 2 21s, and the 21 that I got the other day was from a customer who's got 2.5 acres, and he bought it on my recommendation, and then he's like, "Why did I buy this fucking mower?" And I'm like, "I don't know, mate. Why did you buy the mower?" He goes, "Do you want to buy it off me?" I was like, "How much did you pay for it?" He goes, $1,200. And I thought, "Well, I'll give you $1,000 for it. Been started twice." And he's like, "Yep." And I was like, "We'll just work contra." So I just mow his place. And
that's like the dude on the one of the last acreage properties I picked up at Greenscapes. Rusty does it now. One of the very last properties. This dude got us in, and he, for some reason, he bought like a Skag Freedom.
Yeah.
Like a 52-inch.
you know why? Because he's a mad dog.
Yeah, well, but it's just hilarious. Like he hired us. Rusty's mowing it currently, or at least doing works there. And I can just imagine this dude. He's when Homer Simpson gets the motorbike.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to ride it, so he's I can imagine that. Like this dude is so stoked with this machine, but he literally does. Like he, and then it was funny too. Like I told him what we do, so like he pulls up my website on his phone. He's like, "Oh, should I get this or should I get that?" And like he's talking about a light bar and all this.
Okay.
And I'm like, look. You can definitely get all that stuff, but I just feel bad selling it to you. You know what I mean? Like, you probably just don't need to buy that.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like an expensive garden name.
well, this dude, he's like a big time builder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he bought
He would have just used it as a tax write-off.
he bought 3 acres of land, and there was this amazing old Queenslander on it,
Yeah,
and
it was
he
beautiful.
gave it away.
Wow.
Like he had to pay for it to be removed, and usually you sell them for like 40 grand or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just said, "No, get rid of it."
Yeah. And it was a beautiful house because
It was gorgeous.
I'd worked there previous to Ben.
It was next door to Nola's.
Nola! Yeah, the credits were
Coming
there.
up for the bus. So where do you see yourself, Austin, in like say 5 to 10 years? Like if we could have a crystal ball, what are your goals? What are you going to work to, and where do you want to be?
So 5 years time, I'd like to have, hopefully another probably 2 or 3 rigs on the road out running for me.
Nice.
And basically me overseeing the business, doing, the quoting side of things, the team management, all that kind of stuff. 10 years, who knows? Like realistically, I'd like to cover like the whole Lake Macquarie area. And if it blows up big, and if it doesn't, at least I've given it my best,
Yeah,
That's it.
So, mate, at the end of the day, I'd love to, say take on Fox or someone like that, or take on gyms, and that's why I've gone the branding I've gone with as well, because it's easy, it's catchy to, easy to remember. So yeah, if I did want to go into a franchise situation in the future, the possibilities are there. But mate, if I end up just working for myself as a contractor, mate, I'm happy as a piece.
Yeah, awesome.
So, there is goals, but the biggest goal is basically get myself, physically healthy, mentally healthy, and financially healthy, buy a house, and enjoy life.
Nice.
And having that work-life balance, that's the biggest thing, is that work-life balance.
Yeah, I
So-
can only imagine being a truck. Were you like long haul driving, or were
No,
you
So we probably should say that you're obviously doing DJ work, but then you were a truck driver.
Yeah, I've done truck driving, done concrete pumping as well.
You take any drugs in the truck?
Nah,
Okay.
no, I've been clean for a while now, quite a while. There was
Well, I just-
DJ,
There's
DJ
just-
truck driver?
Yeah.
There's just a stigma out there about. I'm not saying that all truck drivers do it, but there's a stigma, right?
Yeah, there has been a stigma over
Get on the
years.
gas.
Yeah, get on the gas. get on the crack. But
Yeah.
but
Hey, you got to do what you got to do to get through.
well, that's
Fucking hell.
Come on, truck drivers, stop doing crack.
Mate, I'm sure there's a fucking bunch of lawnies that are doing crack.
I tell you what, it'd be you'd be able to get some work done.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, no.
You see a bunch of lawn. I tell you what, it's dangerous. A bunch of strung out lawnmower dudes with chainsaws.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to run into one of them.
Oh, you took the last shard, you fucking dog.
Oh, this is getting too loose.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We should
Pull it back, Ben.
Okay. Well, with that being said, how about we put a bow on this one?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for coming to the Cash Pro Shed. Thank you for being a part of it and telling your story.
Thanks for having me here, guys.
Absolutely. Maybe in a couple of years we'll be able to, or maybe whenever we'll be able to
after
check
this
in on you.
season. Yeah, after this season's done and dusted, if you have to come see your mate, swing through.
Anyone out there in the podcast land of listening, if you are located down near this Lake Macquarie,
West Lake Macquarie
area, feel free to reach out to Austin if there's overflow of works, or even if would you be open to getting on board with someone for a day or so?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's a fantastic way to just cut your teeth and just get
that networking, local networking. The more I can network with local contractors, the better.
Yeah. And before we do sign out, I do just want to say another special thank you to our mates over at Bush Ranger Power Equipment and Skag Equipment for hooking Austin up here with the merch packs. Means a lot to him.
It does.
Great support for us. Remember, if you're looking at the Sony game,
Lawn Simulator,
jump on, leave us a review like the other three mad dogs.
Yeah. You're about to fucking get loose.
I was going for a C-bomb.
He's reaching.
So we'll draw that, in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, jump on.
Maybe before you go to GIE.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Until then, I'm at Catch Pro. He's at TBL. We are out of time. Thank you.
Peace.